All right, so today we're going to tackle something super practical, getting ready for a laundry workers supervisor interview.
Yeah, using Role Catcher's guides and those cool AI tools they have,
Right.
and not just get you prepped, but help you like really shine as a candidate.
Yeah, become the top candidate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting because a lot of people, I think, don't really realize the level of leadership and attention to detail that's involved in this job.
Right, it's more than just knowing how to run the washing machine.
Totally.
And I think that's where role catcher is really helpful because their resources really give you that deep understanding of what interviewers are looking for. So let's jump right into some common interview questions. And I think the first one is really classic. Can you tell us about your experience managing a team of laundry workers?
Oh, yeah, this one's all about assessing your leadership style and how you approach like team dynamics and stuff. So don't just like list off your previous roles. You really want to showcase how you've motivated teams, how you've delegated tasks effectively, and tackled challenges.
And that's where I think the STAR method really comes into play. So clearly outlining the situation, task, action, and result.
Exactly.
That's going to really paint that picture for the interviewer.
Totally. And then, interviewers will often follow up with stuff like, what's your approach to delegating tasks effectively? Or how do you handle underperforming team members? And that's where I think the role catcher AI can really help because it can help tailor your answers to those nuances.
Yeah, it's like having a coach in your pocket.
Yeah.
Who knows exactly what those interviewers are looking for? Okay, so let's move on to safety, which is obviously huge, a really critical part of this role. A common question is, how do you ensure that laundry workers follow safety protocols on the job?
Yeah. So here's where you demonstrate like your proactive approach to safety. It's not just about saying like, here's the rules. It's really about how you foster that culture of safety. So how do you communicate those protocols? How do you monitor compliance? Have you ever implemented any safety improvements in your previous roles?
All right, so instead of just saying, I tell them to be careful, you might want to share a story about a time you identified a potential hazard and then took steps to address it.
Perfect example. Yeah. And then interviewers might ask, can you describe a time you identified a safety hazard and how you addressed it? And that's where you can really get into those specifics and highlight those problem-solving skills.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit to conflict resolution. Another question could be, can you tell us about a time you had to resolve a conflict within your team? This can be a tricky one.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great opportunity, though, to show off your interpersonal skills and your ability to handle those difficult situations diplomatically. So pick a conflict that you successfully resolved and walk them through it using that STAR method again.
So I think what this means for our listeners, preparation is key. And Role Catcher can really be your secret weapon. They have this library of practice questions and that AI-powered feedback that really helps refine your answers. And make sure you're hitting all the right notes.
Totally. It's about going deeper than the surface, showing those interviewers that
Yeah.
you're not just any candidate, you're a future leader. You understand the complexities of the job.
Okay, let's tackle another one. Can you tell us about your experience with laundry equipment maintenance?
Ooh, so here they're trying to assess your practical knowledge and your understanding of preventative maintenance. So have you ever implemented a new maintenance routine? Can you talk about a time you caught a problem early on and prevented a major breakdown?
It's about experience and that initiative. You're the person who keeps those machines running smoothly.
Right. And speaking of keeping things running, the next question might focus on tough decisions. Can you tell us about a time you had to make a difficult decision in your role as a laundry workers supervisor?
Ooh, yeah, pressure's on. So how do you pick the right example and present it in a way that really makes an impact?
The key, I think, is to pick a situation where the decision wasn't obvious. It wasn't clear-cut. Walk them through how you made that decision. Highlight the factors you considered, the information you gathered, and how you weighed the different options.
Don't forget the outcome, what you learned from the experience.
Totally. This shows you can handle responsibility, learn from your mistakes, and grow as a leader.
And again, Role Catcher can help analyze your answer. Make sure it's coming across as thoughtful and impactful. All right, let's talk productivity. How about this question? How do you ensure your team meets productivity targets?
Oh, yeah. This is your chance to really shine as a leader who drives results. Talk about how you set clear goals, track progress, motivate your team, and address challenges.
This sounds a lot like the stuff in Role Catcher's career guide for laundry workers supervisor. They really emphasize creating that.
Culture of high performance.
Exactly. And, Use those specific examples from your past
Yeah.
experience to really showcase those capabilities. Have you ever implemented a system to track progress? Did you use data to identify bottlenecks? Those are great examples because it brings those skills to life.
Totally. And then be ready for the follow-up. How do you handle a situation where the team's consistently failing to meet targets requires a real balance of support and accountability?
Yeah, so you might talk about your approach to providing constructive feedback,
Yeah.
creating those performance improvement plans, and
Yeah.
potentially having those tough conversations about disciplinary actions.
Exactly. And again, Rollcatcher can help you practice those.
Yeah, for sure. All right, on to a question that,
Yeah.
might seem a little less exciting,
Mhm.
but is absolutely essential. Can you tell us about your experience with inventory management?
Yeah, this is huge. Inventory management is like the backbone of a smooth operation. So they want to know, do you understand how to track inventory levels, order supplies efficiently, address any discrepancies?
Yeah, so maybe you implemented a new software system or reorganized a stockroom to improve efficiency.
Great examples. That shows your attention to detail and your ability to manage resources well.
Great opportunity to show off those organizational skills and that proactive approach to problem solving. All right, let's talk about new team members. Can you tell us about your experience with training new laundry workers?
Yeah, so this question gets at, creating a welcoming and supportive environment so they're set up for success, right? What training methods do you like to use? Do you have a structured onboarding process?
It's more than just the machines. It's about best practices, safety protocols,
Yeah.
that sense of belonging to a team.
Right. And a really strong answer might include, describing a specific training program you developed or a time you mentored a new worker who just totally excelled.
Yeah, I love that. It's a chance to showcase how dedicated you are to nurturing talent and building that positive work environment. Okay, last question in this segment. This one can be a bit of a curveball.
Sure.
How do you handle performance issues with your team members?
Yeah, this is a big one. It really assesses your leadership, your ability to provide constructive feedback, and your approach to those tricky situations.
It's about that balance, right? Supportive, but also holding people accountable.
Yeah, totally. Walk them through your process for addressing those performance issues, how you document conversations, create those performance improvement plans, follow company procedures for disciplinary action if needed.
And I think Rollcatcher's AI can give you some really great feedback on your approach.
Yeah.
And make sure it's in line with best practices and shows that commitment to fairness and professionalism.
For sure. And I think it's important to remember, even with all this prep, you can't predict every question they're going to throw at you, but you can definitely build a strong foundation. You know about the industry and the role itself.
That's where those Rollcatcher guides are so helpful. They give you those insights into industry trends and career paths, the day-to-day realities.
Like, for instance, did you know that the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they project a 4% increase in employment for laundry workers supervisors from 2019 to 2029?
Oh, wow. So the job market's looking good.
Yeah, it's faster than average for all occupations.
Wow, that's great to hear. So what is it actually like, though, working as a laundry worker supervisor?
Rollcatcher's Guide paints this picture of a really dynamic role with a lot of variety. You could be working in a hospital or a hotel, a dry cleaner, even an industrial laundry facility. And each setting has its own unique challenges and rewards.
So you need to be adaptable.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Able to think on your feet.
Definitely.
And that's something you can definitely play up in the interview. Talk about your experience in those different work environments and how you've adapted.
Love it. Okay, well, speaking of adapting, let's go back to those interview questions, tackle a few more. Here's a follow-up to that question about safety protocols. Can you describe a time you identified a safety hazard and how you addressed it?
Yeah, this is a great chance to really show them you're not just talking about safety, you're actively looking out, taking steps to prevent accidents.
Right. So maybe you noticed the machine was overheating, shut it down right away, called for maintenance, or saw a spill on the floor, took steps to clean it up, prevent a slip and fall.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about showing that proactive approach, your commitment to a safe work environment.
Okay, here's another one that I think requires a bit of finesse. What steps would you take if an employee consistently failed to meet expectations?
Oh, yeah. So here's where your leadership comes in. Your ability to handle those tough conversations. You want to show that you have a system, a clear process.
So it's not about getting angry or jumping to disciplinary action.
No. First, you try to understand the root cause. Is it a lack of training, a personal issue maybe, a mismatch between their skills? and their actual responsibilities.
Once you figure that out, then you can work with the employee.
Exactly. Develop that plan for improvement.
And I think Rollcatcher's AI
Yeah.
can be so helpful here, giving you feedback on your approach, suggesting strategies.
Yeah, for sure. Handling it effectively and compassionately.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like having a virtual mentor.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one that I think can catch people off guard. How do you handle underperforming team members?
This is similar to the last one, but it focuses more on those initial stages, identifying the underperformance, communicating your concerns in a constructive way.
Yeah, providing guidance and support.
For sure. And setting those clear expectations.
And remember, every employee is different.
Absolutely. What works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
You got to be adaptable. Tailor your approach.
So for one person, maybe it's more frequent feedback. For another, it's more challenging assignments.
Exactly. Help them grow. And don't be afraid to pull from your own life, even if it's not directly work-related. Have you ever coached a teammate in sports? Or mentored a younger sibling?
Yeah, I think those are really valid examples.
Totally,
Yeah.
because they show you can communicate, build relationships, motivate others.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about a really crucial part of any supervisory role. Training. Here's the question. Can you tell us about your experience with training new laundry workers?
Yeah. This is your chance to show them you can create a positive and effective learning environment. Think about the different training methods you've used. Hands-on, group instruction, online module.
And how do you make sure those new hires feel welcome and supported?
Yeah, maybe you have a buddy system. Pair them up with a more experienced worker. Or a welcome packet. All the info they need.
It's all about that smooth onboarding,
For sure.
setting them up for success.
And a strong answer might be describing a specific program you developed or a time you mentored someone who really went on to excel.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's move on to a question that often gets overlooked, I think, but is essential for a well-run operation. Can you tell us about your experience with inventory management?
Yeah, inventory management. It might not sound glamorous, but it's crucial to keeping things running smoothly and efficiently. They want to know if you could track inventory levels, order supplies, and handle any discrepancies.
So maybe you implemented a new software system to streamline ordering
Mm.
or reorganize the stockroom,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
reduce waste.
Those are great examples. It shows that attention to detail,
Right.
organizational skills, and that you can manage resources.
And again, Rollcatcher's career guides can help here. They have great insights
Hmm.
into best practices for inventory management.
Absolutely. They can also help you understand the specific challenges you might face, like dealing with supply chain issues or fluctuating demand.
All right, last question in this segment. Let's go back to performance management. How do you handle performance issues with your team members?
Another one that requires a delicate touch. You want to show you can handle this in a fair and constructive way.
So it's not about being punitive
Right.
or catching them doing something wrong.
It's about creating that culture of feedback and continuous improvement. Talk about your process for documenting conversations, setting goals,
Yeah.
providing regular feedback.
And if an employee is struggling, you're willing to work with them.
Exactly.
Develop a plan.
Maybe that means more training, adjusting their responsibilities, or just more support and encouragement.
It's about showing that you're invested in your team's success
Yeah.
and helping them reach their full potential.
And don't forget, Rollcatcher's AI can help you practice those tough conversations. Make sure you're approaching them professionally and with empathy.
All right. We've covered a lot of ground here, but I think it's important to step back and remember the bigger picture. We've been talking a lot about, the ins and outs of being a laundry worker's supervisor, how to nail that interview.
Right, but I think we got to talk about the future, too.
What do you mean?
The industry's changing. Common. You think about those self-service laundromats. With all those high-tech machines, even industrial laundries are using robots now for, sorting and folding.
Yeah, I've seen those videos, those robotic arms folding towels.
It's crazy, right?
It's pretty impressive.
It changes everything. So
Yeah.
I think the big question for anyone who wants to be a laundry worker supervisor is, how are you going to adapt your leadership skills in this more automated world?
That's a great point. It's not just about managing people anymore. You've got to manage the technology, too.
Exactly. You might need to learn new software, troubleshoot technical problems, train your team to work with robots.
Yeah, it's a whole new set of challenges, but also opportunities. Like maybe there's going to be more emphasis on quality control because the machines are doing all those repetitive tasks, and that frees up the human supervisors to really focus on the details.
Right, and think about the human element. Even with all this automation, people are still going to be at the heart of this business. Customers are still going to need help. Machines are going to need maintenance and oversight.
So those core leadership skills, communication, problem solving, motivating a team, those are going to be even more important.
For sure. So as you're prepping for that interview, think about how you can show them that you're adaptable, willing to learn, and that you have a vision for the future of this industry.
Because the best leaders are the ones who embrace change.
Exactly. And Rollcatcher can help you on that journey. Their AI platform can help tailor your answers, practice your delivery, get personalized feedback, so you come across as that forward-thinking leader.
Awesome. Well, I think this has been a really helpful deep dive into what it takes to be a laundry worker's supervisor. We've covered the responsibilities, the challenges, and most importantly, how to really ace that interview. So if you're ready to take your career to the next level, head over to Rollcatcher, explore their resources, and start prepping for that dream job. We'll see you next time.